Hey guys, Alex here with Born Salty, and today I want to show you how to do a repair on your Seaeagle inflatable boat. This repair also works for other PVC boats, so keep in mind if you have another brand, you should watch this video as well. Thanks. So the first step that you're going to want to do is determine which pontoon is leaking. You can inflate all the pontoons fully and just go around, feel each pontoon, make sure that they're up to pressure. In this case, I know exactly which pontoon is leaking because I made the hole myself. So this side pontoon is what's low on air, and that's the one that we're going to fix. So the next step to doing this repair would be to get all your materials ready. That way, when you inflate the boat, if it's a fast leak, slow leak, you'll be able to find it no matter what because you'll have everything ready to go to look for that leak. So in this case, we're gonna mix up our soapy water solution, which I'll show you how to do right now. So you want to use enough soap to where you form a lot of bubbles, but you don't want to use too much soap because with too many bubbles on the boat as you're doing the soapy water test, it makes it harder to find the leak. So you want just the right amount of bubbles to where when you're wiping the rag over the boat, it is forming kind of like a bubble wave in front of the rag. I'll show you how to do that in one sec. So I have my soapy water solution. It's ready to go. I got my rag over here that's ready to go, ready to find the leak, and we can get started on searching for this leak. So what I'm actually going to do now is, this is a high pressure pontoon. It inflates to 15 psi. I don't want it that high because sometimes with the high pressure it tends to want to blast the water out and pushes the bubbles away, making it harder to find the spot that the boat's leaking. So I'm going to inflate it to about 3 to 5 psi. That's a good pressure to help me find any leaks. It's not too fast, but it's enough to show the bubbles and get it working. So right now I'm going to inflate the boat. I'm going to set my dial to the correct pressure. We want to go with a 5 psi and just turn it on and let this thing run for a minute, get it up to pressure. Now that my boat's up to my 5 psi, I want to close the valve because sometimes it does leak from the valve. So we do want to check that area as well, and we need the valve closed to make sure that that's not the spot that it's leaking. So we do that and then get all our stuff ready and we can do this test. So when you do this test, you actually want to work in small sections. I find that the best way to actually find the leak. If you're covering the whole boat, you're really not able to find the small bubbles that are forming from the spot of the leak. You just kind of see bubbles everywhere and it doesn't really help with your goal. So today we're going to start in a wetter rag. Yes, made this solution a little too bubbly, but so we're going to want to start working in sections. And yeah, my hand's covered in soap. Let's get some of that off of here. So you want to work in small sections like this. See how the bubbles are forming in front of the rag. I do a search, I do another pass through. You want to work slowly too, because the only way you're going to find the leak is if you see the bubbles forming around it. In this case, I know where the leak is because I made it. So sometimes you'll see bubbles like that. They look like maybe it's forming, but that's not it. You want to just keep working in small sections and keep checking. Stand back and just check. So far, I see no bubbles forming. You want to make sure you look at the seams. What I also like to keep in mind, if the boat is leaking, you think to yourself, what were you doing on the boat? Is there anything you were doing that could have caused the leak? So I know in this case we were out fishing and we had some people who were inexperienced didn't know how to release a fish properly without dropping onto the boat, and that's what you have to watch out for. Sometimes fish spines can puncture the material if they land the perfect way, but there's no worries with that because, like I said, doing these tests is very easy, and a fish spine will take days, if not more, for the leak to actually show and for your boat to go flat. So there's no worries about deflating on the water if you drop a fish on it. So let's see. Doing this test, looking. Let's do a pass by. Oh, what's that? So you do a wipe. So see how the bubbles aren't forming right now with that thin pass? You make sure there's bubbles for it to actually air up and show. Okay, so now that I know I found the leak, next thing I want to do is mark it with a pencil. So you can see the leak right there forming. I can actually see, if I put some soap over it, I can see the exact spot. It's kind of hard to see with this camera. I can see the exact spot that it was pricked, and it looks exactly like a fish spine. In this case, I know it was me because I did a hook. I used a hook to make the hole. So I found my leak. I have the little spot marked. The next step, what I like to do, I like to take a highlighter. It's pretty much the size of a penny. I like to take a highlighter and I put it right over with the hole directly in the center, and then I make a circle right around the highlighter. Kind of hard to see because of the sun, but I made a circle with the highlighter end, and now I'm ready to make my patch. You can wipe down the area, get it clean. It's not going to pull off the pencil, which is nice. So in this step, what you're going to do is you're going to take the same highlighter that you used before, or if you didn't use a highlighter and used a penny or something small and circular, use that same thing. You're going to want to lay it down on the patch, and you're going to want to mark it with a pencil again. Then you're going to take your scissors, you're going to cut out the patch, and you're good to go back to the boat and start getting things ready. Okay guys, now that I have the patch already made and ready to be applied to the boat, what I want to do first is to deflate the pontoon. So all I'm going to do is come over here and I'm going to open up the valve. Okay, so pressure is being removed from the boat. Next thing I'm going to do is prep the patch and the spot that I'm applying it to. In this case, you can put a dab of glue. In my case, I'm putting it on the back of this eraser just so I can be more accurate and apply it directly to the patch and to the spot without getting it out of the zone that I marked. What you also can do, you can mark it on a piece of masking tape and put that circle right over the patch so you can get a clean patch, but I know I can handle it, so I'm going to do without that today. Okay, so my patch and the spot it's being applied to are both prepped with glue. You don't need to use too much glue, just enough to have a small layer on there. And then once you have that layer on there, what you do next is either use a blow dryer if you're in a cold area. You want the glue to sit for about a minute or so and get tacky. So if it's cold, you want to use a blow dryer, let it heat up a little bit, and that's going to give you the absolute best results. In this case, it's about 100 degrees out, so I don't necessarily need that. I'm just going to let it sit for a few moments longer. Then I'm going to apply the patch to the spot. And the reason I'm using the masking tape here is just as a small working surface for myself. Once you have the patch on there, the next step is just to press it down like so. You want to get all the air pockets out of there. You want to get it stuck to the boat, nice and clean. Just press down. Okay. So that really feels like it's on there. It's connected to the boat. And that's pretty much how you do a patch. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to roll this boat back into the garage, and for about 24 hours I'm going to let it sit and just dry and attach itself to the boat. Once that's done, I can inflate the boat and I'm ready to head back on the water. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any other questions, comment below. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. Make sure you go to bornsalty.com for any Seaeagle boats, or just send us a message if you need any help on doing a repair like this. Thanks guys, see you out on the water.